Fran, are you finished with work yet?
Yep, I'm finished with work now. And what's going on with you, Mom?
How old are you this month?
I'm going to become 32 years old really soon, but why are you asking me something like that right now?
Do you have someone you're going out with at the moment?
There's no one right now that I'm with.
It's been 2 years now since you broke up with that last boyfriend of yours, right? When are you going to go out and find yourself a new man?
I'm asking myself that same question every day, Mom.
Are you not trying to get married to someone here soon?
Well, I'm not trying that hard just yet.
Ugh, I can't believe that. In the past, everyone said that a woman is at her best until she reaches the age of 25, and after that, she begins to spoil.
That was in the past, right? Right now, nobody is saying something like that. That's not even something anyone would be agreeing with in this day and age.
You can stop it with whatever you're trying to get at there. I've been worrying about you so much these days that I'm not even able to get any sleep anymore.
Mom, right now people don't see marriage as the only thing that'll make them happy anymore. So please, stop trying to put that kind of pressure on me. Also, if I'm able to find the man of my dreams, then it won't matter when him and I get married.
But the problem is that you've still not gotten married, and your life is already close to being halfway over with.
Well, you don't know that. Maybe tomorrow I'll find someone, and things will really turn out great for us.
You say things like that now, but in an instant you're going to be calling yourself an old woman. Right, how about I introduce you to one of my friend's sons for you?
What? You want to introduce me to someone? Something like that is still not needed.
He's a great man for you.
Really? And what kind of a person is he?
He has his own company, and he's a really calm person. He also has himself a condo, and he loves to go overseas every year for travel.
Can you tell me how old he is?
Well, I think he's in his 50s right now.
Wait, he's closer to being your age than he is mine, Mom. And that man has most likely already had one wife before, right?
I heard he had 2 other wives before you, but who cares? He has kids already, so he's not even going to ask for you to carry any kids for him.
I don't mind the fact that he's been through a few divorces now. But why would that man ever want to marry someone like me? I get that I'm in my 30s now, but even to me, he is still like an old man or something.
Let me tell you right now that most men your age aren't looking for people like you to marry.
Come on now. I'm sure not all men want to be marrying someone like me.
He has a lot of money already and will never let you live a day of your life worried about that. Also, if at some point in the future you find out you really don't like him, you guys can just get a divorce.
Do you really want me to get married that badly? Or do you only want me to be married for that man's money?
I just want you to have the joy of being married at least one time, whether it does or doesn't last. I just feel that if you never do it, it'll be a huge problem for you at some point.
If you'd rather I have a forced marriage to a man like him, I think there'd be more problems for me than just living life never getting married. Right now, I am very happy with the life I have. So no matter how worried you become about someone like me, I'm not going to get married to calm you down.
Even your little brother has gotten married before you. Are you not embarrassed by something like that?
Not at all. If that's something all the family is concerned about, then I'm sorry about that. But I don't find anything wrong with him having a partner first. So can you please stop worrying about me?
I'm worried that you won't have anyone to love you when you get to your later years in life.
Thank you for being worried about that. But to make sure that I'll always be cared for, I have money saved up to put me in a retirement home. And actually, you should be happy that at least your son was able to find someone to marry him. I mean, even his wife is being kind enough to stay over at your house with you and take care of you, right?
She hasn't come to our house to look after my needs or anything, though. She told me that she's only living here because she doesn't want to pay rent or for a house.
But even if that's her reason for it, it's not normal for most young couples to go live with their parents again, right?
Jay is my oldest son, so of course he'd be okay with living at his parents' house with them.
Like I said, thoughts like that aren't the normal way of thinking anymore, Mom. Hey, Mom. You never said something like that to his wife to make him and her come move back into your house, right?
Why would I ever say anything like that to her? All you young people always like to act as though the mother-in-law is trying to bully their son's wife.
Well, as long as you're not picking on her, that's all right. But be careful, okay? You always like to try and pry at my life a lot like that, right?
You are my daughter, so I can do that from time to time. I have no right talking to her like that when she's not my actual child.
I wonder about that. For the time being, I know you're the kind of person to say lots of awful things when they're not needed. So make sure you aren't doing anything to trouble Jay's wife, okay? I'll see you later, Mom. I have some plans that I need to attend to now.
Hold it right there. I'm not finished talking to you yet.
Then just send me what you want to say and I'll get back to you later about it. I promise you that.
Fran, do you think you can take some time off work in 2 months?
Why do you want me to take time off then?
We're taking a huge family trip to the Cayman Islands then.
To the Cayman Islands? Why do you want to go there now?
Jay said he'll be taking all of us there on him. That kid is really a one-of-a-kind son.
What? You're trying to tell me that Jay will be paying for everyone in the family to go? Are you sure about that?
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about his money. Having his wife and him plus you and Dad and then me go will total 5 people, right? That'll cost him a whole bunch of money, I think.
It'll only be for 4 days when we go, all right?
Even with only staying for 4 days, that is a lot of money that he'll need to spend on all of us. And if they are living with you right now to try and save money, then they probably don't have a lot of money to be spending it like that.
I don't think that's the case with those two. I think that they've been saving up all that money to take us on this huge trip overseas. He really is the best son I could ever ask for.
Are you sure? Well, I think that'll be fine. The 4 of you can all go together.
But it's been a really long time since we've all been together for a family vacation, right?
In 2 months, I'm going to be going to my friend's wedding, so I'm already having to take some time off then. And I'll be off of work for at least a week helping her get ready for the event.
Is that right? You really never want to come out with your family, do you, Fran? You're even letting a chance like this go to waste?
Don't say things like that about me, please. Even if I did want to go, I wouldn't have Jay pay for me. I don't like making him pay for any of my things, especially something as expensive as that trip.
You won't even let him treat you to one single family trip? That's probably something you should change about yourself because it really does not make you into a cute woman. You should be so happy and kind about him offering you this trip for free.
All right. You're totally right.
Being open to other people's offers is something very important for women.
I don't need to hear something like that from you, though, Mom.
Hey, if you're going to be going to a wedding soon, then please find yourself a man there to marry. I'm sure most of the people there will already be married or have someone they want to, but, well, there have to be some people there like your dad who didn't get married until later in their life, right?
You are totally right. I really hope that I'll find someone nice for myself there.
I really want you to try your best to find that man, please. You have everything I have, besides my brain, of course, so any man would want to have you. I think you're even prettier than Jay's wife is.
In her case, She should be cute to you, no matter what, right?
I don't think that's the case, though. Look, what can I say? When it comes to her, she's not the most healthy of women. Maybe you could say that she just isn't as light on her feet like us.
I think you are just super judgmental person, and that's why you're picking on her look so much. Mom, it's not okay to judge people based on that aspect of them alone, okay?
I know that, I know. But look, I just wanted to point that out. Because there are other things to her as well. Ever since her and Jay started living with us, she's been a bit of a bother to your dad and I. She never seems to take a hint, and when she does chores, she is awful at them.
She grew up in a different family from ours. I'm sure she does things that are totally different from what we do. But if you really cannot stand having her in the house anymore, perhaps you should ask her to move out. It's not like you were the one asking for her to live with you, right?
But if I have her leave the house, then it'll look like I'm the one that lost to her, right?
Wait, why does it matter who's won or lost? This isn't a game. If you both aren't doing very well under the same roof, then you should consider yourself more of a loser than offering to live in separate houses.
But normally the daughter-in-law should be willing to do anything for her mother-in-law, right?
I understand what you're wanting to say there. And back in the day, that was the way things were between a mom and her daughter-in-law. But things these days and things of the past have changed quite significantly. In my case, if I were to get married right now, I wouldn't just start to listen to everything my husband's parents have to say to me. I'd be thankful and respect them as my in-laws, but it would take years before I became that close to them. And I'm sure the same thing goes for someone like Jay's wife.
I am not going to listen to you saying that when you're in your 30s now and still have not been married yet. I'm sorry, but I just can't with you and that talk today, all right?
I was just saying if that were the case, Mom.
Look here, this is why you don't have yourself a man wanting to marry you yet. Trying to teach people about things that not even you have experience in is not how you make friends.
Oh, is that so, Mom?
I think someone like her would be able to understand marriage far more than you. I mean, she is at least married to someone now. Unlike you.
Well, good for her then. Then you'd better get along with her instead of judging her all the time. I already told you this before, but people these days are going and living with their in-laws is a very rare thing, so be kind to her.
But she's the one that has it easy. Why do I have to be any more kind to her than I already am?
And I told you, if you cannot handle having her in the house with you, then you can ask her to move out.
Well, whatever then. I'm the one that actually has a daughter-in-law now, so I know more than you ever will about it. And I'm going to make sure that she is the best daughter-in-law ever in my household.
Stop saying things like that, please. You'd better not start going through with things like that, okay?
I will not pick on her or anything like you're saying. If she was a kid that I gave birth to that acted like that, then I sure would, but I can't when she's someone else's child. I can at least believe that she'll somewhat understand my position as her mother-in-law and the owner of the house.
And that's great. Well, have a great time on that family vacation when the time comes. And tell Jay and his wife to have a fun time on it too. Sasha, thank you for taking me to the station in your car today. You were much more easy to get a hold of than a taxi this time.
No worries. Were you able to make it in time for your train?
Yep, right on time. And that's all thanks to you. I'm sorry for having to come over there so suddenly like that.
No. I wanted to say I'm sorry for not having anything ready for you when you came to visit.
I was only coming over to get some pictures that I'll use at my friend's wedding, so you really didn't have to cater to me. I don't have a lot of time anyway, so being quick about it was the only thing I could do. Also, my parents and Jay are in the Cayman Islands right now, correct? I never realized you'd still be home. I just assumed nobody would be at the house, and that's why I showed up without calling in the first place. Why did you choose not to go on the trip with those three anyway? Do you have plans yourself right now?
Plans of my own, huh? Well, I'm the new wife in the family, so I have to stay home while they're away.
What? Because you're the new wife?
Right. Your mom told me that since I'm not part of the family, I should have to stay home and care for it while they're all gone. She told me that that's what your family expects of me, so I'm best to remember that for all the next trips the family will take.
What the hell?
Is that not what you all expect from me and your family? She told me that you think the same of me from your mom.
I have never said anything like that before in my life, Sasha. Actually, I'm so sorry about her. I think that my mom has said some things to you that shouldn't be said. I really am sorry about her.
No worries. I'm totally fine with this, so you don't have to worry about me. This is always how things have been here.
This is something she's been doing to you the whole time?
Yes?
What else is she doing or saying to you then?
Well, if I tell you, I feel like I'd be tattling on her for doing something wrong.
I'm sorry. Well, to start, that my brother's been watching this and not said anything to her about it?
Well, at first, Jay was saying some things to her for me. But it wasn't things that I'd be able to say to her personally. And when it comes to Jay, he's not the most powerful speaker when it comes to men.
I see. I'm starting to imagine what's all been going on here. Sasha, I'm sure you don't want to say anything about it. But can you please explain to me what's going on at home in a little more detail for me? We haven't really had time to talk about things involving you for a long time now, so this is our best chance. You might not feel as though you can trust me, but I'm asking you, sister to sister.
No, I think I misunderstood. I assumed you were the same as her and thought that I should be doing the exact same things she's asked of me to do as the new wife.
And I'm telling you right now that I don't agree at all with her on those things. We still have 3 more days until Mom and them get back home, right?
That's right.
I'm on the train right now, but when I get home, let's call about all of this. Do you think we can call for a bit in like 2 hours or so? You don't have any plans around then?
No, that time should be fine.
All right then. I will call you later then, Sasha.
Fran, something serious has happened. That woman, while I was out of the house, she ran away from us. And when we got back to the airport, Jay ran off somewhere as well. I'm not able to get a hold of either of them.
Ah, so you're back at the house now, Mom?
Why are you not getting all worked up over this like I am? Sasha has left the house without telling anyone. And she took all of her belongings with her as well.
I'm sure she didn't take everything with her, right? Just the things that her and Jay could carry, right?
Huh?
Listen here, Mom. I helped Sasha move out of your house.
Why? Why would you do something like that? What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'd like to ask that exact same thing about you. Mom, what the hell have you been doing to Sasha this whole time?
I haven't been doing anything to her, Fran.
You've been making her do all the chores in the house for you, and even then you still complain and make fun of her. And every time she questioned you, you told her the reason she needed to take all that crap was because she's the newest member to the family and the youngest wife. Right? And as for this trip to the Cayman Islands, you said that she'd be coming along with the rest of you, right? Well, from what she told me, Jay wasn't the one that offered to pay for this whole trip. Rather, you forced him to, and he gave in while crying about handling all his money to you.
It's not like I was forcing him to give me his money for the trip. Also, you told me before something like this. About how it takes time for a new woman to get used to her husband's parents.
And that's to do with the feelings of everyone in the family? When you told her to stay home because she's the new wife, you weren't showing her anything like you wanting her to be a part of the family. She said you told her she was anything but family to you. And you spent so much time on this trip, and not only did Jay have to pay for all of it, but some of Sasha's savings had to be used as well. You did that to them knowing that they both don't have a lot of money right now. Why did you take this trip with Jay's money? And why did you say to her that she couldn't come along?
If I really had to, I would have taken her with us. Now why are you getting so upset with me when I invited you along as well?
I'm not upset about myself not going. This is about how you are abusing your position as the mother of the house and are messing with her. I even heard that when this all started, Jade tried telling you to stop messing with his wife. But you told him he was being hysterical and that this was all totally okay as her mother-in-law.
I did not tell him that he was being hysterical.
When Jay was trying to warn you about being mean to Sasha, you started to pick on him and say that you were the one that took great care of him and that he shouldn't waste everything you've given him by protecting his wife. He cried for days because you said that to him and couldn't stand his own anymore.
Sometimes people will cry when they hear that. It's not my fault that I had to talk to him like that. Everyone's been trying to make me look like I'm the one being bad. Hell, Sasha's been acting and looking as though she's the victim of some kind of torture when I'm around.
And that's because she has been the number one victim to your torture. I know that you were the one that begged them to come and live with you and Dad as well. But when they did finally move in with you guys, you never once thanked her for doing so, instead only choosing to pick on her. What the hell have you been trying to do to her?
I was just warning her because she hasn't been able to do anything well enough for me.
And from everyone else's perspective, those warnings look a lot more like you bullying her. And those two are way too kind and gentle to fight back against you. And that's why you felt as though you're doing nothing wrong. I feel that you having everyone go to the Cayman Islands on Jay's money was all to make sure that they didn't have enough to move out, right? Sasha told me all about it. Her and Jay were looking at apartments together, and when you saw that, you flipped out on the two of them. You even went and smacked Jay for doing something like that.
They both have a perfectly good house they're living in, yet they wanted to look for a place to move out to?
And that's why you used up all of Jay's money on this trip, so that they had no way of leaving, right? Sasha had a really hard time telling me about this event, and even cried when she finally let the details out. She really wanted to become closer to you like she was your real daughter, and cried because she couldn't make that happen. It's a rarity to have someone as nice as her as my sister-in-law, as your daughter-in-law, and you're going to treat her like garbage?
I do feel bad for smacking Jay right in front of her. I was just a little bit flustered is all when I saw them both looking for new housing. I was sure that Sasha totally understood how I felt at that moment.
I really am so happy I helped them move out of your house. You are a horror to the both of them, and from now on, will not be allowed to go meet either of them.
Why do you think that'll happen to me?
We wouldn't have had to do anything like that if you would have just been verbally abusing them. But you raised your own hand to your son, and she might have been next on your list. If you ever go near either one of them again, or even talk to them, I'm going to cut ties to you. Do you understand that, Mom? Dad is already on his way out when it comes to his health. So you better not expect me to come take care of you if you continue to act out like that.
Pfft. You're the one that's going to end up old and alone with no help someday. You should be more worried about yourself than me, right?
Why are you turning on me now like that? You're the one that'll die before me, so you should be far more worried about yourself. After you die, I'll probably find myself a man to marry, all while you're 6 feet under. Also, even if I don't have someone in my old age, Sasha was very considerate of me. She said that if I ever find myself needing help, to ask her and she'd come take care of me. And she also told me she'd start letting me go out to see her kids when they have some. Or bring them over to my place.
Huh? Kids?
That's right. She's pregnant right now, as a matter of fact. But she's been keeping that one a secret from you this whole time.
She's going to have my grandbaby, yet she doesn't want me to meet them? Hold on a sec. If she's going to have a baby in a little bit, then things have changed completely. I need to start helping care for her so that she can have a safe and healthy childbirth. All right, then. From now on, I'm going to be a bit more relaxed when it comes to Sasha.
It's too late now, Mom. The reason she kept all of that a secret from you should be more than enough proof that she doesn't want you around her anymore.
Fran, tell me where Jay and her have moved to.
I'm not telling you a thing, and if you start trying to search for them, I will really cut ties to you. Also, I've made sure to tell Dad that as well. I told him that if he tries to help you, you both will not be able to see her. When I told him that, he apologized to me and promised not to help you. He wants you to start thinking about what will happen between the two of you.
What does he mean he wants me to start thinking about us?
Well, go ahead and ask your husband about that one. It's just the two of you over there now, right? Well, that's how things are right now, Mom. From now on, remember to never bother Jay and his family ever again.
Wait a second, Fran. Fran, what is going to happen to me? If you don't tell me where they are, I really will never be able to see them and their baby ever again.
You can think about that one for yourself, all right? But to be honest, you might just end up in the same situation I'm in right now. Depending on what Dad plans on doing, you might be going right back to being a single old woman again. After that, both my mom and Dad started to sleep and do things in separate rooms under the same roof. Normally, my dad would be very open with how he feels to my mom, but because of how she treated Sasha all the time, he has a lot of things to think about without her disturbing him. And when my dad finally talked to her again, her behavior really changed. She not only learned that Jay and Sasha would no longer let her see them, but that her husband wanted to start living in separate houses altogether, which led her to be a bit more mature about what was happening. I think that my dad would be better off divorcing her, but at the moment, my mom doesn't want that, hence her acting a lot more quietly when it comes to everything. And my dad has even told me that having her stay quiet while still being married to her is a lot more safer than divorcing her and letting her go wild. Also, I think that my dad believes that he deserves to be her husband for the rest of his life, considering he let a lot of this happen to Sasha and Jay while looking the other way. Both Jay and Sasha ended up blocking her number, and so recently she has been coming to me asking about what's been going on with the two of them. She doesn't even bother to torment me with all the questions about whether I'm getting married or not yet, and instead is totally focused on my brother and his wife. And although she does come to me quite often wanting to know things, there are a lot of things I choose to not tell her for their sake. And I do all this in the hopes that my mom will really learn her lesson after all the trauma she caused Sasha and Jay, just because she thought she could as the mother-in-law. After half a year passed, my brother and his wife had the most cutest baby ever together. He is so dang cute that I really can't wait to see what it'll look like in a few years. When it comes to Sasha, she is still so thankful for all the help I gave to her and continues to ask me if I have anything I need help with or want to talk about. Becoming this close to both Jay and Sasha has really made a difference in my life as well, and makes me feel a lot warmer inside than before when they were being trapped by my mom. I'm sure that at this moment, there isn't much else I can do for these two, but I'm going to try my very best to make sure they have a loving and happy future ahead of them with their baby boy.